let's talk about the new GMT Master II announced at Watches and Wonders 2022 from Rolex. It's the GMT Master II, but done in black and green. And I think that's a lovely combination. We have it with the Cermet or the Starbucks. We've had it with various watches to different degrees over the years. But this is the first time, at least to my knowledge, that we've had this type of combination on a GMT Master II. And so I think that's pretty exciting, but it has a kind of a wonky orientation. We have a left-hand drive orientation. And then this is what throws me personally. The date, instead of being on the right-hand side, it's on the left-hand side, which makes me want to turn the watch oh, it's upside down. It's kind of throwing me for a loop. And I think I'm not alone in that sentiment. I know some of you have expressed this to me yeah, this is an awesome release, but why did they flip it? Why couldn't they have just done a normal one for us? And I know watch enthusiasts like to complain. I like to complain. I like to moan and groan sometimes. That's nothing new, but Rolex kind of gets a bad rap sometimes from us in the watch enthusiast community. We go, hey, they never do anything bold. They never do anything different. They always do the same old stuff. They just slightly change it. They're so boring. They're so conservative. These watches look like they came out in the 1950s. Rolex, ho-hum. We kind of come across that way sometimes. But when you step back and think about it, Rolex has a history of doing really bold stuff, really different stuff, really out there stuff. And it's usually met with good reception, at least when it comes to sales, not just lip service, if that makes sense. And so, I think about the James Cameron, this massive chunky tool diver with a stupid amount of water resistance and a gradient transition dial with lime green text. I think about most recently, probably the Oyster Perpetual Stella dials from 2020 that were only on the market for 2 years. Those have just been discontinued. They're super bold and colorful. And before we knew it, all the other brands on the market are kind of wanting to come out with a similar concept, bright colors that they likely would have never done had it not been for the vast popularity of those loud OPs that came out in 2020. Rolex really does bold stuff. I think they do. I think they do different stuff. I don't think they're a boring brand at all. Maybe that's a topic for another video. But this GMT Master II is just other evidence, in my opinion, that they're doing things differently. Yes, they could have given us a Coke like we've been wanting. Yes, they could have done this black and green combination in the normal orientation. I think a lot of people would have liked that, but no, they didn't. They do their own thing. They don't care what we think or what we want. They know all their watches are going to sell and there's going to be far more demand than there will be supply. They gave us the left-hand drive and they put that date on the opposite side, which is really messing with my mind visually as I look at the watch. But here's the thing. I think it's going to be a really awesome watch in person. And it might take a couple weeks with the watch on wrist before you get used to it. We're used to the opposite orientation just out of tradition. Why can't we have the other side be true? And you can wear it on your left hand, maybe your right hand. I don't think it's made only for left-hand dominant individuals. I think this is for anybody and everybody. I know not anybody and everybody are going to have the availability for it. That's kind of comical to think about, but I think this is designed more as something that's different rather than something with a purpose, if that makes sense. Now, I love the color scheme, black and green being the corporate color of Rolex. And we've seen them really do great releases with green when it comes to the Gold Daytona, the Hulk, which I have, behind me on the desk here, the Cermet, the Air King. There are some lovely releases, different stones that they've worked with for the dials when it comes to the date and other things. So, they know how to work in green well. And this is a subtle use of their corporate color, just done in select places. And I think that's attractive. And I think over time, more people are going to jump on board this left-hand drive type of orientation for the GMT Master II. And I could definitely see this. Tell me what you guys think. But I could definitely see Rolex making this for a couple years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, and then bam, discontinuing it, and maybe putting the color scheme in a right-hand drive model. And all of a sudden, whoever was fortunate to get the left-hand drive for a few short years, you now have a collector's piece that's going to be worth way more than the right-hand drive version. I mean, that just it doesn't seem out of character of Rolex to do something like that. Maybe that happens, maybe that doesn't. They hear us speculating, and they like to throw a curveball. They don't give us exactly what we are looking for in many instances, or think is going to happen. I can't even talk today. But yeah, I like the GMT Master II. I like the movement. I like the case. They're very comfortable. I like the option of having Oyster with PCLs or the Jubilee style. I prefer Jubilee over Oyster personally. I'm wearing my Sky Dweller on Jubilee today. It's a great bracelet. I like the color scheme. I like the quirkiness or the uniqueness of the orientation. I think I'll probably be on board once I see it. And I hope to have real world footage of this as soon as I can get hands-on with one. I know most authorized dealers get an example sent to them pretty quick after Watches and Wonders. At least they can put it in the display case for display only, and you can take a look at it. So if my local AD gets one, I'll do my best to get some good footage to share with you guys. But I think it's a fun release. I like it. Is it perfect? No. Do Rolex care what we think? I don't think so. But I do like what I'm seeing here. My favorite release this year wasn't the GMT Master II. It was the Air King. I also like that platinum day date. Oh, that was nice. The Yacht Master, yeah, that was pretty good. The other Datejust, not my favorite, but yeah, some good stuff this year. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you for watching today, and I hope you guys have a great day. See you next time.